Deborah Murphy here. I'm joined by Fawn Jackson, Executive Director of the Canadian Roundtable for Sustainable Beef, and we're in downtown Calgary, which is a pain to get to, but anyways, it's an exciting day for McDonald's. They're handing over some of their pilot project findings to the CRSB. What does this mean for you guys?
So it's a really exciting day to talk about the accomplishment over the last year and a half that McDonald's has been doing the pilot project here in Canada. The pilot project and the Canadian Roundtable for Sustainable Beef really got started around the same time, and so have been working collaboratively throughout the term of the pilot project. And today, really marks the day when McDonald's is handing that over to the Canadian Roundtable for Sustainable Beef to take it forward.
So the Canadian Roundtable has kind of a group dedicated to identifying sustainability parameters that's called the Indicator Committee. Is that separate then from the McDonald's beef pilot project?
Yeah, so the McDonald's pilot project was separate from the Canadian Roundtable for Sustainable Beef, but certainly are sharing the learnings from that pilot project. So at the CRSB, we actually have two committees. We have an indicator committee, and then we have the verification committee. And the indicator committee is really about developing, well, what would you measure on operation? So whether that's a cow-calf or a feedlot or a processing facility, that really speaks to the breadth of sustainability. And then the verification committee is looking at things such as what's the assurance framework within we would be able to assure that those practices are happening.
So where are those committees at right now? Because we're expecting to do a public consultation on some of the indicators right around now.
So the CRSB indicators have gone out for their first public consultation, their 60-day public consultation period, and right now we're taking the comments into consideration, and then we'll put out another draft of the indicators for our second 30-day public comment period. And then after that, we'll have our indicators and continue to move forward with the development of our verification framework. We're working towards having the full verification framework ready to go and up and running Q4 of 2017.
So when can we expect the next public consultation then?
Yeah, so we're going to be hopefully releasing that over the next couple of months. It'll really just depend on some of the discussions. Of course, at the roundtable right now we have over 90 members and observers. So we do go through the indicators and the comments that we received very carefully and consider them, and then we'll be ready to go out for our second public consultation.
And so will this information from McDonald's be a part of that as you review those indicators as well?
Yeah, so McDonald's had shared their indicators with the CRSB Indicator Committee, and that was a really good starting point for us in the creation of our indicators.
Is there any worry that consumers are going to get mixed up and say, why is a major fast food chain telling us what sustainable beef is?
So McDonald's has been very careful throughout the process to make sure that they are sharing those learnings with the Canadian Roundtable for Sustainable Beef. You know, they've said all along that they don't want a McDonald's verification process. You know, they want to work through the Canadian Roundtable for Sustainable Beef. So the pilot project was really, the start of the conversation, and now we're going to be moving into developing a national framework. You know, from the perspective of the consumer and the fast food chain having input there, at the roundtable we do have 90 members and observers, and having everybody there from retail and food service who are very connected to the consumer, all the way down to the producer, to the environmental groups, to the animal care groups, to the academics. You know, everybody's voice in that conversation is extremely important. It's extremely important because the more we work together, the more we can get done. It's important to have different perspectives at the table so that we can really make sure that we get this right, so that it works for everybody.
So the goal kind of being to hold each other accountable.
Absolutely.
The Canadian beef industry has responded negatively to restaurants and retail sourcing based on labels in the past and in the very recent past. How is verified sustainable beef different from its other verified and certified counterparts?
So when we're talking about verified sustainable beef, we're talking about 5 different principles of sustainability. So making sure that you're taking care of your people and community and your natural resources and your animal health and welfare, your efficiency and innovation, your food safety and food quality. I think that this really speaks to the robustness of having those sustainability conversations. I think that consumers are asking more, and making sure that we have a tool being able to communicate that is very important for the industry. It's also very important that industry gets to be part of those conversations and in developing it to make sure that it's something that works for all stakeholders. So something that is reasonable and accountable for producers, but also something that's very meaningful for consumers. So again, I think that goes to speak to the value of the breadth of membership that sits at the roundtable.
Fawn Jackson, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.